What's going on with y'all? It's your boy Sharp Reacts. Sharp from the 219. Back with another one, man. Hey, yo, about to react to the NFL free agency moves. A lot of moves happened. I mean, a lot of moves happened. Heard some crazy-ish happen. So, we're going to react to, instead of going to Twitter, we're just going to react to, let me get his name for you guys. I'm blocking the screen. We're going to react to Matthew Geese. Shout out Matthew Geese for the video. Gonna react to him. Grading out the free agency signings. Let's see where people went. See where people shouldn't have went. And let's see how they fared up.
Finalized. Let's put a letter grade on the big free agency signings.
Wait.
We're going to talk about a lot of them today. And like always, you can let me know what you agree with or disagree with down below. You can let me know if there's somebody that I didn't bring up that you think was a home run signing or maybe was a letdown signing. Let me know. And we're going to be doing a post-free agency mock draft this weekend, so make sure you're subscribed. So we're going to start off with maybe the most controversial signing. It's one that did not happen on day one. It happened on
Baltimore?
early day 3 of free agency, and that was Trey Hendrickson going to the Baltimore.
Praying for Joe Burrow, man. Praying for Joe Burrow. I don't know what the Bengals are doing over there in terms of defense, offensive line. I get it. You paid your top receivers. You paid T. You paid Chase. Rightfully so. But they're not the only part of the team. This is, you feel me? This is a 22, you need 22 good starters in this NFL. And now you let your best defensive player go to a division rival. That's nasty work.
Ravens. He changes teams within the division. Now, my prediction for Trey Hendrickson was to the Dallas Cowboys. And I love that prediction up until the Baltimore Ravens backed out of the Max Crosby trade and they gave Trey Hendrickson a massive 4-year deal worth $112 million. It has an average annual value of $28 million. It's got $60 million guaranteed. And we know that they didn't want to pay 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby anymore because they can go out and sign Trey Hendrickson, who does not owe any first-round picks. They get to keep pick 14. They get to keep a 2027 pick. And I've talked about it. I did not love that trade for the Baltimore Ravens. So honestly, I do like this for them because you get somebody like Trey Hendrickson, who I don't think is as good and won't be as good as Max Crosby next year, but I think the gap is pretty slim, and you get all that draft capital back in return. It's a smart move, maybe a controversial move by Eric DeCosta, but I'm going to give this signing an A for Baltimore. It's essentially a 2 to 3 year deal. He's in his 30s, and Trey Hendrickson is coming off a notable injury. I do think Trey Hendrickson's play will decline over the years of this contract, and I don't know if we're ever going to see a 17.5 sack season from Trey Hendrickson again, but I do appreciate Baltimore still going out and trying to get a playmaker for Lamar Jackson in this window. Now, I don't think their free agency has gone fantastic because they lost a lot of guys and they pivot out of the Max Crosby trade, but I do think this Trey Hendrickson signing in a vacuum has been a pretty good one. Next of all,
y'all, I heard about the Max Crosby trade, but I don't really understand it. Like, what really happened? Like, why trade for him if you know his knee isn't right? That didn't make sense. Just the whole situation was just very odd. Like,
talk about a re-signing here, and that is Alec Pierce going back to the Indianapolis Colts. The 25-year-old was probably the most sought-after wide receiver free agent on the open market. We thought a lot of different teams could have been making a play for Alec Pierce. He pretty much signs back with Indy right away, and he got paid. It was the largest wide receiver free agency contract in NFL history. Now it's because guys like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson don't make it to free agency. They get re-signed by their teams, but hey, it's still an objective number of $114 million across 4 years, $28.5 million of average annual value. He got $84 million guaranteed, $60 million due at signing for Pierce entering his age 26 season. Now with Daniel Jones coming back, we're going to talk about that contract later. I'm a little skeptical about this one. I'm actually going to grade this contract to be a C. Now, and I know that they were bidding against a bunch of different teams, so if they wanted to get their guy back, they were going to have to pay top dollar amount. It's just, I don't know where Indy is headed, right? We're going to talk about it a lot more with the Daniel Jones signing, which I'm not the biggest fan of. And I do like Alec Pierce as a player, and there's a reason why a lot of smart teams wanted to go out and sign Alec Pierce for what he could be as a red zone threat, what he could be as a deep ball threat. I just don't know if his talent is going to be utilized properly in Indy next year with the whole quarterback controversy, and you have Daniel Jones coming off a torn Achilles, and now teams are going to be treating Alec Pierce like the wide receiver one. They're going to be guarding him with their best corner because in the past it was maybe some Michael Pittman, it was maybe some Josh Downs. They do have Tyler Warren still, and we know that Michael Pittman got traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I just don't know if they're going to get the
Pittsburgh
output
made a
of somebody
move,
that's
y'all.
going to be making $28.5 million per year. That's getting paid like a top 10 receiver in the league. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is Christian Kirk 2.0. We all kind of scoffed at the number when he signed to Jacksonville from Arizona. Maybe this is just 2.0 of that. So yeah, next up, I want to talk about Daniel Jones, who was technically going to be a free agent. He got tagged by Indy, and then they were going to work out a new extension off the transition tag. So there was a very small chance they could end up trading him, and he ended up reworking a deal. It's 2 years, $88 million. Includes $44 million as a signing bonus.
2 years, 88 mil. No. You're not. No, bro. You're coming off an Achilles injury. No. 2 years, 88. Are you even before he got hurt, he might have been a top 15 QB last year. Top 15 and top 20. Now what are you going to look like after an Achilles injury? You're probably going to be, and this is no disrespect to Daniel Jones, you're probably going to be one of the worst quarterbacks in the league coming off this injury. It's going to take you a while to find your footing, bro. 2 years, 88? No, I'm nothing. No.
$60 million guaranteed, an average annual salary of $44 million.
It's crazy.
That's a lot of money. And Indy is really going all in with Daniel Jones on this team coming off a torn Achilles. And Daniel Jones was great throughout the first 8 or so games in 2025 and really looked like he could be a franchise quarterback again. But he was starting to go back to his old ways. And I do wonder if we were going to see Daniel Jones kind of regress to the mean a little bit and look like how he's been with New York in the past, or was he legitimately going to be the top 10 pick the Giants thought he was going to be back in that 2019 draft? I'm giving this contract signing a D. I know this isn't like a full free agency.
And y'all know I'm a Giants fan. I've already proved that to
y'all. I
am a Giants fan. Y'all know
I don't know
this.
who they were bidding against. I don't know if any other team was really giving Daniel Jones $45 million. This one, unlike the Alec Pierce one, felt
he's
like
good for what he does, but he is not one of those quarterbacks.
$44 million and gave Kyler Murray $10 million, and now you can allocate $35 million elsewhere, and you could probably get a better quarterback in Kyler. I'm just really skeptical about Daniel Jones coming off the Achilles tear when he didn't look great leading up to the injury as well. Indy traded away Michael Pittman. They do not have a first-round pick from the Sauce Gardner trade either. The offensive line is in flux. I'm a little worried about this one, and this could be the end of Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard in Indy. We said that last year, so I'm not going to say that's a guarantee this year. They just have to prove us wrong once again. Next up, I want to talk about the biggest offensive lineman signing, and that's Tyler Linderbaum going from the Baltimore Ravens to the Las Vegas Raiders. A lot of overlap between those two teams over the last week or so. The Raiders clearly had to overpay for Linderbaum to make him by far the highest paid center on the open market, because Tyler Linderbaum is making $27 million a year across 3 years, $60 million fully guaranteed. Creed Humphrey, who's about a year older than Linderbaum, is making $18 million per year. Then it's Cam Jurgens at $17 million. Then Connor McGovern at $13 million. And yeah, Tyler Linderbaum exceeded that value on the open market, but you can see why he's 25 years old based off how expensive the franchise tag was for an interior offensive lineman. They treat him like a tackle. The Ravens weren't going to tag him, so he darts to Las Vegas, a team that desperately needed offensive line help. They're going to bump Jackson Powers-Johnson to the guard position. I love this. I'm giving this an A because the Raiders are now going to protect Fernando Mendoza. They're going to give Ashton Jeanty a Pro Bowl level center to kind of open the way for him, because he just had no room to run last year. And I'm really excited to see Linderbaum with a lot of play action under Clint Kubiak's system. He's been really healthy throughout his 4-year career. He's only missed 2 games, and that was back in 2023. He's played 17 games every season so far. So I think this is a home run signing for the Raiders. I'd rather give Linderbaum an A than kind of like the risk they've taken in the past on guys like Christian Wilkins or Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, this one feels like it's going to hit no matter what. We'll talk about Malik Willis going from the Green Bay Packers to the Miami Dolphins to follow Jeff Hafley and John Eric Sullivan. I'm giving this contract signing a B. A lot of people thought that Malik Willis could really get more than $30 million on the open market. I'm looking at you, Dan Orlovsky of ESPN. He did sign for about $22.5 million on an average annual value, $67.5 million across 3 years. It's not that risky of a deal. It's $45 million guaranteed. So it's kind of like the Justin Fields deal, added by 1 more year. And Miami is clearly going through a transitional phase. They traded Minkah Fitzpatrick, a trade that we'll get to when I talk about some of these new trades in a later video. They cut Tua, which we'll also talk about in this video as well. And they also cut Tyreek Hill early in the offseason. Like, this is a completely new era of Dolphins football. And I'm excited for Malik Willis. I know he's only started really 3 games over the last few years in Green Bay. He's looked good in those 3 games, but he's not going to have Matt LaFleur calling the shots for him. It's going to be Bobby Slovic. We'll see how he looks. Can he kind of revert back to what he was with CJ Stroud in his rookie rookie year. Now with Malik Willis, I just don't think there's a lot of risk to this deal. Yes, $67.5 million sounds like a lot, but it's $22.5 million a year for a quarterback. That's like nothing nowadays when you're looking at the quarterback contracts around the league. That wouldn't even place him in the top 15, 20 quarterbacks right now. Like, he's slightly making more than Justin Fields, about $2.5 million. And I'd rather have Malik Willis than Justin Fields. And then everybody behind them is pretty much a one-year veteran, like an Aaron Rodgers from last year, or a Russell Wilson, or just guys on their rookie contracts like Cam Ward, Caleb Williams, and Bryce Young. So this is a fine contract for a veteran quarterback, and I am excited to see how it works in Miami. I'm giving it a B. If they went over like $30 million,
I like Malik
probably would
Willis.
bump this down.
He just gotta show, can he be, I'm not gonna say a friend. Well, yeah, I guess he's gotta show, can you be healthy? Can you be consistent? Then you show that, then it's steps to being a franchise quarterback. Can you show that? The four or five games you played in Green Bay last year, if you played great, can you just show some consistency? That's it.
But I do think it's at least an exciting upside swing for Miami.
Going to Jalen Waddle, you got Devin A-Chain
as their quarterbacks.
Got some
next
weapons,
year,
bro.
Even though Tua's not even on the roster anymore. Let's touch on some running back signings now. We could talk about Kenneth Walker going from the reigning Super Bowl champions as the reigning Super Bowl MVP.
Seattle, what are you
Seattle
doing?
Seahawks to the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that has won plenty of Super Bowls in the last
This is an A+.
He signs a 3-year deal worth $43 million,
This is an A++.
$14 million on an average annual value, and $28 million guaranteed. I'm still going to give this for Kansas City an A. I know you don't want to pay a running back big time money like this, especially when you're Kansas City and you have some issues in your secondary, in your linebacking unit, your defensive line, your offensive line, your wide receiver spots. Like, this is not a great Kansas City Chiefs team on paper. They're going to have 2 first-round picks in this draft, and we'll see if they go after some type of playmaker at number 9, or maybe they go after an edge rusher or something like that. So this basically eliminates Kansas City from drafting Jeremiah Love at number 9. Who knows if he was even going to be there? And I know you might say, yeah, this is not the analytical way of building out a team that wants to win a Super Bowl. You don't pay big-time money for a running back. Well, the Eagles just did that, and they won the Super Bowl. And for the Chiefs, like...
Y'all, everything Matt is saying is true, but the Chiefs are playing the waiting game. They don't need to rush Mahomes back. They don't need to do this. They have draft picks. They have money. They can just play the waiting game. Wait till Mahomes gets back healthy. Build your team. Build some chemistry. Everybody get right. Then the following year, so that'll be 2028. Then they'll have a squad for real.
We're watching Kareem Hunt.
This year isn't supposed to be a Super Bowl contending year.
After not good running back over the last 5 years. Even Clyde Edwards-Helaire was never a top running back in the NFL. So maybe it's Vincent Jamal Charles that the Chiefs actually had a top 10 running back in the NFL. So this is definitely exciting for them going forward. It gives Kansas City a playmaker. Eric Bieniemy's coming back, and now he has a running back talent that he hasn't had during his time.
They get that defense together,
because of all those running backs I just mentioned. Before he gets let go and they go to Matt Nagy, and the offense definitely took a step back.
They gonna mess around, go back to the Super Bowl.
Good luck, Giants fans. So I'm going to give this signing an A for the Kansas City Chiefs. I do like this pickup for them. Hey, he's the reigning Super Bowl MVP. And for the Saints going out and signing Travis Etienne, I'm going to give this signing a B. It's a little bit more expensive long-term than Kenneth Walker. Now, when you're looking at just an average annual value, Kenneth Walker's making about 1 point.
So wait, what's going to happen with Kamara? I wonder if he's going to bring up Kamara. Because now you have 2 starting running backs. Are you going to do a 2-back like Detroit did? Or we used to do, like,
million more per year, but Etienne got that extra year, 4 years, $52 million. We don't know the full guaranteed money right now. I assume it's going to be something similar to what Kenneth Walker got, just kind of the way of the land of these running back guaranteed contracts right now. I'm giving it a B, not an A, just because I didn't feel like this was a full-on priority for New Orleans this offseason. Now, New Orleans definitely went out and made a ton of splashes because they were a team that also didn't really have that much cap space on paper, but they go out and get David Edwards. I like that a lot. They go out and get Caden Ellis. I like that a lot as well. So I'm glad that they did hit positions of need, like they get younger, going from Demario Davis to Caden Ellis. They now give in a good interior offensive lineman and David Edwards to kind of lead the way for Travis Etienne, with Fuaga and Kelvin Banks at the tackle position. So I do think that Etienne will succeed. I just am a little skeptical now that they're paying Kamara and Etienne. Maybe Kamara is no longer going to be there. Kendre Miller is recovering from the ACL tear, and they had Devin Neal last year, who was fine. But yeah, clearly not a starting running back worthy. I don't know if they were ever serious about wanting to draft Jeremiah Love as well. And Etienne definitely, I think, is more like the guy he was in 25 than he was in 2024. I like this for New Orleans. I don't love it. I actually do love the Mike Evans signing to the San Francisco 49ers. I'm giving this one an A. Mike Evans got 3 years, $42 million, $14 million on an average annual value.
Stay healthy,
only
bro.
$16 million guaranteed. I am mind blown that Tampa Bay didn't match this deal to keep their homegrown future Hall of Fame talent, Mike Evans, leaving Tampa Bay. Maybe that's just because of what Jason Licht was doing. Maybe it's Todd Bowles. Maybe it's Baker Mayfield. He's going to play with Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan in San Fran. I think he's going to be a beast. I think he's going to be basically Devontae Adams 2.0, what we saw with Devontae this year with the Los Angeles Rams. Mike Evans has pretty much been healthy throughout his whole career outside of 2025, where he suffered a bunch of different injuries. But every year of his 12-year career, he's either played 13 games or more, 14 games or more, but he's mostly playing 15, 16, or 17 games every single season. And the 49ers were going to have a lot of change at the wide receiver position. Jawan Jennings is most likely gone. They're going to let go of Brandon Ayuk, and now it's just kind of Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle, and now Mike Evans. Yes, you're worried about maybe the older part of this group, and you're worried about maybe the electrical field next to the practice facility.
Heard
Either
about
way, though,
that,
I think
y'all.
Mike Evans
That's
is going to
crazy.
be a stud.
They got to get rid of that or
target
something.
for Brock Purdy. I think he's exactly what Kyle Shanahan needs. I'm giving this one an A as well. And then we're going to go to the Tennessee Titans, who signed Wan'Dale Robinson to be wide receiver one. We'll see. He got a pretty hefty contract, 4 years, $70 million, $17.5 million on a year-to-year basis, $38 million.
Wait, why is it a D?
The Titans had a ton of cap space to use. They brought in Brian Daboll as the offensive coordinator to Robert Saleh. And I don't know if I love this contract, to be honest with you. I'm going to give this one a D. I think it's a little bit of an overpay for somebody like Wan'Dale Robinson. I didn't also really love the tier 2 wide receivers on the market that we'll get to a couple of the other ones in a second. But yeah, Wan'Dale Robinson did have 1,000 yards for the first time in his career. He's had over 90 catches in back-to-back seasons. I think I'll like this one a little bit more if Tennessee adds maybe Carnell Tate throughout the draft, or they add another receiver as well. I just don't think Wan'Dale Robinson, maybe getting treated like a wide receiver one, is going to succeed too much in Tennessee. They do have Tamara DK, they do have Alec Iron-Maynor, and maybe Wan'Dale will be able to go off against some of these bad secondaries. He had 156 yards last year against Detroit. He had 142 yards against Dallas, 113 yards against Las Vegas towards the end of the year. He did have 95 yards against Denver in that game that they ended up choking. He had 84 against Philly. And maybe I'm just a hater of Wan'Dale Robinson. I don't want to be. I'm excited for what Cam Ward can have as a new weapon. I'm just skeptical about this contract dollar amount. Maybe I'm wrong. You can kind of see a trend here. Like Alec Pierce and Wan'Dale Robinson, I think, are pretty big swings.
What did he get? I'm so sorry, y'all. He's speaking kind of fast. 4 years, 78. 17. That's what, 18 mil a year? I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with this. I mean, Wan'Dale had 1,000 yards last year. For what? Some of these receivers, for what? Bro, Alex Pierce just got... What did Alex Pierce get? Oh, Alec Pierce. He got 4 year, 116. Now, I get he might be better than Wan'Dale, but he's getting almost 30 mil a year. I guess.
It could not. All right, so next up, I want to talk about Tua Tagovailoa signing a
shout out Wan'Dale, man. Go eat over there, bro.
I don't know if this one has been fully confirmed, but it looks like all signs are pointing to Tua pairing up with another lefty quarterback in Atlanta.
This is nasty.
I'm giving this one a C.
This is nasty.
Mean, it's hard to say that this is a bad value.
Matt, so you give the Wan'Dale one a D, but you give this a C. They have 2 left-handed injury-prone quarterbacks. It's nothing wrong with being left-handed. I don't even know why I even said that. You have 2 injury-prone quarterbacks. I don't get how is this making Atlanta that much better? Like, I don't see it. They're probably gonna have the same record they had last year.
Tua has played like a Pro Bowl quarterback before, and he's gonna be making basically the minimum out there, so you're going to get upside with Tua. Now, Tua last year threw for about 2,600 yards, 20 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. He's a couple years removed from that stud 2023 season where he threw for 4,600 yards and 29 touchdowns. I just feel like Tua and Penix do not play the same way outside of they're both lefties, and maybe that's just what Kevin Stefanski wants to build there in Atlanta. They move on from Kirk Cousins. They drafted Penix after giving Cousins $100 million, and now they might be moving on from Michael Penix for Tua, who's getting cut for a $100 million cap hit from a
What?
team
What is
down
the
there
point?
in Miami. I'm giving this one a C, though. I'm not super excited about Tua in Atlanta. My expectations are really low, but the fact that it's just for the minimum, I can't really say this is a bad signing because Tua will most likely outperform this minimum contract, and it does give you at least a viable backup option or starter next to Michael Penix, because if Penix gets hurt, because he does have injury concerns, I'd rather you take a swing on Tua than having like Riley Leonard, no disrespect to him, as your backup quarterback, and it feels like you're punting the season in a way, because I'm sure Arthur Blank wants this team to make the playoffs next year. It's not impossible for them to win the division. They basically finished with the best record in the division. They just lost the tiebreaker. So it's definitely not out of the cards to beat Tampa Bay next year, Carolina, or New Orleans. It's not set in stone that one of those teams is going to win the division. And I do wonder if the Falcons maybe are competing for a division title in December next year. Will Tua be the quarterback? At least for Tua, he gets to play in more dome environments. He doesn't have to go to Buffalo. He doesn't have to go to New York or New England late in the season, which was kind of a downfall for him in Miami. He gets to go to New Orleans, Carolina, and Tampa Bay, either warm or dome environments. All right, I want to talk about two Carolina Panthers signings that I'm kind of indifferent on. I'm going to talk about the Jaelan Phillips contract first, and I'm going to give this one a D. I think it's a lot of money. Now, we definitely learned throughout this free agency edge rusher market, these guys are going to get paid. Max Crosby went for 2 first-round picks. Well, supposedly went for 2 first-round picks. And then we saw guys get $30 million left and right, $20 million left and right. And Phillips signs a 4-year, $120 million contract, $30 million on an average annual value, $80 million guaranteed. It's just, what Jaelan Phillips are you going to get? He's 26 years old. He'll be 27 next year. Will he be able to be the stud edge rusher we thought he was going to be before that major lower body injury? Now, Jaelan Phillips definitely played a lot better last year leading up to the Eagles trade, and he was solid with the Eagles. He had 5 sacks in 2025. He did play all 17 games, which is encouraging that Jaelan Phillips is healthy again. But you're basically banking on somebody that's never had over 9 sacks in his career. He's going to Mafe a little bit more, and then you have Kwity Paye, Joseph Asai. Like, it's a weird edge rusher market, and I do applaud Carolina for going after an edge rusher. It's just a scary dollar amount that maybe I'm just scarred from, because we've seen a lot of contracts like this not pan out. But I'm giving Devin Lloyd an A. I love this contract for them. 3 years, $45 million, $15 million on an average annual value. I was kind of shocked when the Jaguars didn't even want to touch that number.
Do we really care about these, y'all? Do we really? I like Devin Lloyd, though. It's a good pickup for Carolina. Get me through some of these
ones to finish off the video. I did like the other running back signings outside of Etienne and Walker. You're usually going to get a nice bang for your buck for the tier 2 running backs on the open market. I like Kenneth Gainwell.
I like Kenneth Gainwell.
Basically replace Rashard White. Rico Dowdle got $6 million a year from the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like the
this right here, y'all. This is a very sneaky underrated pickup, y'all. He had 1,000 yards while sharing carries, and then at the end of the season, they stopped giving him carries, which was kind of weird. I don't know why. I think because of contract situation, injuries. I don't know what it was. They stopped giving him carries. This is a great pickup for Pittsburgh, and they traded for Michael Pittman. This is a great pickup. Like, you have a great running. Well, I ain't say great. You have a good enough running back core. You have DK and Pittman and Freiermuth. We don't know who the quarterback of the Steelers is going to be, but the Steelers are going to be a problem out that AFC North, y'all.
That Rico Dowdle got for Tyler Algier. It's the exact same dollar amount there in Arizona.
I just needed to say that.
See him maybe as an RB1.
I like
We'll
Rico
see if
Dowdle.
He takes that job from James Conner recovering from injury. I thought Chris Rodriguez got maybe a decent amount from the Jaguars, maybe De'Ami Brown-esque from last year. You got about $10 million across 2 years. And maybe J.K. Dobbins getting $10 million. It's fine with me.
I like J.K. You got to stay healthy, though.
Direction with their running back position. Dobbins did succeed last year. He just has to stay healthy, which has been obviously a big question mark of his career. And yeah, the wide receiver contracts, honestly, as a whole.
Romeo Doubs to New England. I like this. I like this trade for New England. I like Dobbs. But I don't know if he's a true number 1. Like, he's not AJ, obviously. He's not AJ. He's not... Who else were they trying to get? Damn. Who else were they trying to get, y'all? It was another receiver. It'll come back to me. He's not better. I don't think he's better than Diggs. Like, this is a great pickup for New England. But I just don't know if he's a true number 1.
I didn't really love outside of the Mike Evans deal. Like Romeo Doubs getting $17 million a year, $68 million total in New England. We'll see if he could be the wide receiver.
DJ Moore. That's who I was thinking about. he like if the Patriots got AJ or DJ, no pun intended, if they got either one of them, then the Patriots, hey.
Is he going to replace Stephon Diggs? We'll see if they maybe trade for a receiver or something like that. Rashid Shaheed getting 3 years, $51 million, $17 million on an average annual value. I'd rather have just given Kenneth Walker that contract and moved on from Rashid Shaheed. You can go with Torrey Horton to replace Shaheed next year. Maybe you could draft one on day 2 or day 3. I just felt like maybe it was sunk cost. Like they thought, okay, we gave up a draft pick for Shaheed. We'd like to keep him here and not have him walk for nothing. But I just don't love that dollar amount for Shaheed when you could have brought back Kenneth Walker.
Y'all, this kick return against San Fran was crazy.
Got a from Vegas. We'll see how he works out in Vegas as well. $35 million across 3 years. We'll see if he could step up as like technically the wide receiver 1 on this team. Obviously not target 1 because that's Brock Bowers. The edge rushers got paid, like I mentioned throughout this video as well. We hit on Jalen Phillips and Trey Hendrickson.
I think that might be about it. Let's see. Bengals got, I don't know, Boy Mayfield, I don't really know what that is. Bills got Bradley Chubb, I like that. Raiders got Quay Walker. Wait, I'm trying to get to this one. Giants got Tremaine Edmonds. Good, great pickup. Giant John O'Mara, you cooking over there, bro. You cooking. I'll tell you Taylor. Okay, Rams got Jalen Watson. Then they took the Chiefs corners. They got Jalen Watson and Trent McDuffie. Hey, Rams look like they might be in that Super Bowl next year, y'all. Early predictions. I can't tell you who coming out the AFC, but NFC, I'm going Rams. They my early pick. Bengals got Brian Cook. Hey, y'all. All right. Hey, some great moves. I think we got some Kyler news too, though. Kyler Murray. So, hey, Kyler Murray signing with the Vikings, y'all. Hey, I like this pickup. I really like this pickup for Kyler, man. Get healthy, bro. Get right. Figure it out. You got a plethora of weapons. You got JJ, Addison, Hawkinson, Aaron. Like, you got some dogs, bro. If this goes right for Minnesota, whoo, they will be hell to deal with. It would be a problem, bro. I really like this. Because I'm not going to lie. The quarterback they got there now, 9 isn't it. Yeah, 9 isn't it. But yeah, though, I'm rooting for you, Kyler. Figure it out, bro. We seen what you was like when you was healthy. Just lock in, bro. But yeah, y'all, that's about it for NFL free agency. If there's more crazy moves, I will definitely be making another video to this. Because we don't know where A.J. Brown is going. We don't know what's up with Rodgers, Diggs, a few other people. But we just got to see. Hey, NFL free agency overall, I'm going to give it a B+. B+ to an A. Some great moves. Great moves. Can't wait for the NFL season, y'all. We can't wait.